In these uncertain times, I have to wonder, do any of you guys know where to buy plot armor? Because that stuff is thoroughly effective. Takita falls from the ship in this episode, and before we get into all that, I just have to say that I actually screamed when that happened, because in that moment I realized I would sacrifice 12 euros for Takita, but that's not the point. We'll get to that, but first and foremost, the episode opens up with them going to this place called the Dragon Corridor, and it's described as like this network of canyons that create this kind of slipstream-like phenomenon with the air that they use to slingshot themselves up into the clouds. They can find dragon pods up there, and even though they're rare, they go up there to like hunt them, and it's been planned for a while now. But that brings up a lot of questions. Like, I can buy the whole network of canyons, dragon corridor thing that they like have to fly through to find an updraft, but I don't understand why the ship just can't go above the clouds anyways. Is it like a special place? Like, why can't they do that? If the ship can keep them up there, once they're up there, why can't it get them up there? It's not like a satellite that requires a rocket to get up there. They don't require low Earth gravity. Like, it just, they're still affected above the clouds by the same gravity they are below it. I don't get it. If the air is too thin, I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. But whatever. That's the setup for Act 1 tension, while they're going through this canyon, going to get slingshotted up there. And once they make it up there, they're like, all right, start looking around. But they're immediately confronted by this giant purple sphere thing that ends up being just a bunch of smaller dragons. And they call it a fairy for some reason. Fairy with an ER. And I guess when a bunch of dragons get together like that, they can project this magical bubble around them. So cool, I guess. They fly into it and it warps around the ship, and I thought that was very cool, and that looked really cool. Like, I don't know, the whole scene was really well done. They decide to start harpooning them. One makes it onto the ship. It targets Takita. It tackles her off of the ship. I don't know if it tackles, more like, charges at her. And they both go overboard. And yeah, I screamed in that scene. I was like, no, why? Why not someone else? Why not the other nameless guys? But whatever. She has plot armor because there's no way she should have survived that fall. Mika is there and she's like, she was holding onto the dragon. She's probably fine. No, she's not. She wouldn't have been able to survive that. I don't care. Also, I don't care that she was holding onto the dragon, because when they do cut back to her, right? She wakes up in this cave thing, and the dragon that fell with her is like 40 feet away, like 50 feet away, at least a couple yards. Like, they did not fall together, and she should not be alive. I don't know if it's that dragon corridor magic wind thing that wasn't explained that saved her, but it really shouldn't have. I do not buy that Takita survived in any way. I mean, obviously I have to because she did, but all she has is a leg wound, and that's it. And that's the setup now. She's alive. They're looking for her. They're all worried. I think Vanabelle feels a bit guilty because she's the one who asked for them to pull the dragon aboard the ship. They haven't really gone into that, but they might. And points to Takita for being a survivor because she actually manages to start a fire and bandage her leg, and she makes it all the way to the dragon that fell with her, and she finishes killing it because she knows it's suffering. And you have a scene where she feels bad about the fact that the dragon is suffering, and she's like, I'm sorry I didn't kill you properly. I have mixed feelings about their job. I don't necessarily think it's something that should be done, especially with these creatures being extinct. I don't approve of the fact that their job exists, but I also understand that protagonists don't always have to be morally right. But she is a pretty good person, and she feels bad that the creature had to suffer because of what she did, because of her actions. So she puts it down, and she stumbles upon what I can only assume is a baby dragon of that same race, because it has a similar tendril-like tail that she also encountered with the other one, and it is a pretty cute little thing. I hope they keep it. I really do, but I don't see that happening with Mika being on the ship because he's going to eat it. There's no way he's not going to want to eat it, so alright, whatever. She also stumbles upon like a traveler who says she's a Matigi hunter. I don't know. I have it here. Matagi hunter. I don't know what that is, but she said she hadn't seen a dragon that close before, so I'm assuming it's not a dragon, which is kind of a relief because they only care about dragon meat in this society, but dragons are so rare, so is everyone just vegetarian most of the year? I don't know. But it was kind of nice to see that there's another type of animal that is hunted. At least I'm assuming it's an animal. Matagi might be slang for like a race of people and she's a horrible racist. I don't know. That's most likely not the case. But she is wearing a rifle over her shoulder. So yeah, she's hunting something and I'm curious to see what it is. Maybe it's the thing that carved the Dragon Corridor network of caves or whatever. I mean, it seemed like very unique hunting grounds. There was nothing else really there, so I'm curious to see what it is. It also occurred to me while I was watching this episode that was probably Takita's first kill. I can't think of another time she killed the dragon, and if that was her first kill, it was really well done. It was a very intimate moment. You can very clearly see it affected her. She doesn't seem like the same person on the other side of that, and yeah, she prays for the creature. She has a deep-seated respect for what just happened. As well, she should, because taking a life, human or otherwise, does affect you. And I really like that was portrayed. I know it's her job. I know she has to do it. And yeah, man, I just thought it was a really well done scene. We'll see how that goes forward, how that affects her moving forward. But the rest of the episode is spent with them trying to find her, and they don't find her. Mika and Jiro fly around to the thing. They don't see her. It is a very complex canyon system, so I get why they couldn't find her. But they said they're only going to search for another 48 hours, which is standard procedure. And already that adds a time limit. But I think that Takita's going to be fine, right? She has that adventurer with her. If nothing else, she'll probably go back to that city and wait for the Quinzaza, that's the name of their ship, to come back. And I don't know, I think she'll be fine, but we'll see how they play around with that 48-hour time limit that they now have. And I'm excited to see it because that's about all that happened in this episode. Not that anything more had to happen. This episode seemed like a setup for a bigger plot moving forward, and I think this is just the arc for the rest of the show, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I do feel a bit bad because their plan of hunting all these dragons was hijacked by Takita falling over, and that's not really her fault, but they said that they had been planning it for years at this point, or at least a very long time, and I feel a little bit bad for that. But, you know, a life is a life, and that's more important, especially Takita. You go back for her. She's like, I don't know. She's like the best person on that ship, honestly, in terms of like morality. But we'll see where they go with it, guys. Thanks for watching if you did, guys. If you didn't, you're not hearing this, so this message isn't for you. Have a good day. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want. You don't have to. I'm not your boss or your dad. And just have a good day, guys. Also, if you fall off of an airship, be sure to be wearing plot armor, guys, because that's really the only way I can see that happening, that you would survive.